Hello everyone, welcome to the Watchtower. I am up here logging in for monitor duty today, and I'm going to bring you a graphic novel review of Batman Curse of the White Knight. This is written and illustrated by Sean Murphy. And if anybody who has ever watched one of my previous graphic novel reviews, you know I break it into a couple parts. I do a quick summary of the book. I do pros, cons, and then I give my overall thoughts, or my overall score of the book. Alright? So we're going to jump into that right now. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. So you don't have to worry about any spoiler or anything. I'm not going to spoil this book at all. I am going to be talking about the first book in the series, Batman White Knight, so there will be some spoilers for that. So if you haven't read that book yet and you want to, I would highly recommend picking that up, reading it, and then coming back and watching this before you watch this, because I am going to spoil some stuff. So, alright? You've all been warned now, alright? So, also, I appreciate everyone who watches these videos. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Helps people find this content, helps this channel grow. I really, really appreciate it, guys, alright? But let's go ahead and let's jump into it now, alright? So, like I was saying, we're going to be going over Batman Curse of the White Knight today, written and illustrated by Sean Murphy. This is the second book of a completely original line of storytelling. It doesn't follow any other continuity or anything. It is a mature book. It is part of their DC Black Label series. And this is the first book in the series, Batman White Knight. And for anybody who is not aware of what happens in here or whatever, this in this book, the Joker goes sane. He becomes his alter ego, Jack Napier, emerges after he is force-fed a bunch of drugs that's supposed to cure insanity, and he basically he becomes Gotham's White Knight as Jack Napier, and is trying to clean up the city and everything, and, you know, make Gotham a better place and get rid of corruption and everything. That's the first book, and then this book leads directly into this book, and the overall premise of this is that the Jack Napier persona has been forced down by the reemergence of the Joker persona, and Joker is once again in control, and he is waging a war on Gotham against Batman, and he recruits John Paul Valley to become Azrael. And with Azrael, he starts a bloody campaign to wage war on Gotham and take it over, and Azrael is the Darkest Knight. So, that's a little bit of an overview on it. Let's go ahead and get into my pros and cons, and then we will give an overall view, my overall score of the book. All right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So my first pro is, and I said this pretty much in most of my things, but it holds true for this one as well, the art. The art in this is phenomenal. Like, Sean Murphy illustrates this entire book, and there's so much detail and just so good. There were literally parts where I was stopping reading and flipping ahead just so I could keep reading, just keep looking at the art. I just stopped reading, and just the art, it's that beautiful. It's absolutely, everything is just so unique, and just there's so much detail and everything to it. The art just kills with this. And if you've read, you know, the first book, Batman White Knight, and he does all the art of this, you know what you're getting. Or if you've read any Sean Murphy stuff. But this is all, you know, this is him just completely working from his imagination and everything. And it is awesome. The art is it just kicks so much butt. It's so much good. It's so good. So much good? Yeah, it's so good. And then my other pro that kind of follows this one is character design. He pretty much, for the most part, redesigns all like the characters in this. I mean, besides like, you know, Commissioner Gordon or something, or like Harvey Bullock, who, you know, how you gonna redesign a police commissioner? But, you know, Batman gets his own design. Batgirl, Nightwing, Azrael, Joker, all these big characters. They have these, like, you know, obviously you see them and you recognize them, but their character design and everything. I love the character design in this. So well done. Absolutely just great. I love the characterization and everything. So, another pro is characterization itself. I love his characterization of these characters. I think all of them are so true to their essence. And everybody, he spends so much time with these characters and making really emotional beats for everyone. You generally care for every character in this. You care for Gordon. You care for Bullock. You care for Harley Quinn. He makes Azrael complicated, and you feel sympathetic towards, well, the John Paul Valley, John Paul Valley himself. Just so good. And even, like, the Joker with him, like, you know, waging war with himself, with the Jack Napier persona, the Joker persona, and Batman's characterization is spot on. It's excellent. The characterization is top notch on this. Just such a great job with the characterization. Everybody feels, and they interact with each other and stuff, and you feel it, and they feel like they've known each other for a long time. You just feel that, like, he really has a good handle on the characters, and it's really, really rewarding. I really, really like his characterization of all these characters. And this one it's not tied to continuity. So I love the main, like, Batman Detective Comics stories that are tied to continuity. But as I get older and I read more and more stuff, I like and really, really beginning to appreciate more and more stuff that's its own thing. This, Earth One, like Mr. Miracle, Kingdom Come, Justice, whatever. All this different stuff that it's its own thing, and it just really allows creators to tell their own stories and use all these little building blocks that that they have and have seen similar, but really to create their own stories, because he, like, in this, like, he does things that you probably couldn't do in the main continuity DC stories, because you need certain things to happen and stuff, and you need try not to give anything away, but you can't like kill characters on stuff in main comics because you need these characters to be reused over and over again. But this, this is his own sandbox. This is his own playbook, so he can kill characters, he can maim characters, he can put characters through the ringer because they don't have to show back up again in a year for another story. This is a finite story that he's telling from start to finish, so he can do whatever he wants, and he can leave it however he wants. So I really, really like that this is not tied to continuity, because nothing's done for just shock value. There are things that are shocking, but it's not done for just shock value. And this is not just for this, but anything. Characters are there to serve the story. Story's not there to serve the characters, is what I believe about storytelling. So if you have a character, but you have this big story, you should, if it serves the story, kill them or maim them or whatever, because that's what's best for the story. You shouldn't have characters just being around because you like the characters. The whole saying from the author, I don't remember who said it, but kill your darlings. The writer who said kill your darlings, don't be afraid of killing the characters that you really like for the purpose of the story. So that is very much true of this. There's characters, well, even if you've read this, there's characters legacy characters that die or stuff happens to them in the service of the story, and this is the same way. It's not just for shock value, So I love that it's not tied to continuity, because, pretty much, the handcuffs are off. You can do pretty much whatever you want in this story and make it engaging, and maybe people are like, oh, well, I'm sure I'm going to read this and, such and such is going to be saved. They're not going to kill such and such. Oh my, they killed such and such. I can't believe that. I thought they would never do that. So this, yeah, I love how it's not tied to continuity and stuff, and it can be its own thing. So that's my pros, and now we're on to my cons. And my cons are pretty easy because I don't have any cons. I really think that this is pretty much a perfect story from start to finish. I mean, there's some little stuff I could nitpick, a little bit, but nothing like huge. Like, I mean, if I could nitpick one thing, I didn't really like but at the end of the story, Batman used a gun. So I didn't like that. But that's just like a little nitpick. I mean, from a story standpoint, I understand why they did it. I understand the whole thing. But I just feel like Batman, no matter what, wouldn't use a gun. That's just my personal belief that he would, just because what happened with his parents was so shocking and violent to him with a firearm, that he would never use them. But this is his own thing. I understand why he used it in this. They made it made sense, so I can't fault him for that. So I really don't have any cons. This is a near perfect book. The art's on point. The story's on point. It's just absolutely just brilliant. It's so good. So that gives me to my score. What will I score this book? No cons. Pretty much perfect. You know what? I don't like doing this, but I'm probably going to give this book a 10 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was just a breath of fresh air and just really just new life into the Batman mythos and everything, and really its own thing. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. Think it absolutely deserves it. Thought it was just absolutely brilliant. You know, and if you've read the first book and you liked it, you know what you're getting in this. It just stays on point. It's so good. The twister, you don't see the twist coming. Such a good story. 10 out of 10 for me on this. Absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, enough of me rambling about this book. You know, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you going to pick it up? You know, let me know. I thought it was, once again, absolutely brilliant. But thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time that I log in for Monitor Duty up here in the Watchtower.